Hey everybody, it's Brook from Brook Pridemore Industries. I have tried twice to start tonight's video, and I have said taint test instead of taste test both times. So I'm starting this video again for the third time, and I am still chuckling about saying taint test, but I'm just gonna go with it. It's good to be here. It's good to be alive. It's fucking brick outside, and I hope everybody is safe and warm wherever they are. Um, just thinking about my predilection for energy drinks. I'm reminded of the old song by Ching Ching where they say, "I smoke cigarettes every day, at least twice a day." It's kind of like that for me with energy drinks. It's kind of like that for me with. It's usually, I mean, we've been over it. It's usually different kinds of Ultra Monster, but yeah, I have very very strong opinions on um, maybe dangerously caffeinated sodas. So tonight, last night's taste test was a blind taste test. Someone suggested to me that they didn't believe that it was necessarily a blind taste test, and I say, you're wrong, and I'm going to prove it tonight by tasting a soda that I am deeply familiar with and very much love and very much care for, which is I got my own bottle of Club Mate. This is a you know that I don't know if, for the other old heads out there, Cookie Monster a while ago got given a song called "Cookie is a Sometimes Food," which I guess I get it. When we were kids, we were kind of the Cookie Monster was funny, but I don't really think any of us were trying to emulate eat cookies all day, but maybe there are kids that were. I don't know. Club Mate is a sometimes drink. Yeah, I can find it here in Brooklyn in two stores. One is at Mr. Kiwi's on the corner of Myrtle and Broadway, and the other is, I don't know the name of the place, but it's the bodega on the corner of Bedford and North 7th, and that one carries different flavors when they get them in. But this is the thing about this drink. It's rare even in Club Mate is rare even overseas. It's a German energy drink from the north, and I've only ever seen it in well, now they've kind of got Club Mate in a lot more places the last time I was there, but the first few times I went over you could really only find it in Berlin and maybe Hamburg and other places in the north, I think in Kiel, and in a lot of places in the south and in other countries they had never heard of it. You just had to go with Red Bull, and you had to go with they've got a bunch of other, they've got shitloads of energy drinks over there. I'm gonna try to get to all of them, and I'm try to find ways to get my hands on all of them because they're all interesting. I tried as many as I could each time I've gone over. Um, what Club Mate means to me is, on my first trip overseas, I was told, you got to try this. It's carbonated yerba mate, carbonated and sugared yerba mate. And I've gone through phases where I've drank yerba mate, tried to replace coffee with it, tried to replace soda with it, both to almost zero success. But this is a tea. Yerba mate, I guess, is a kind of tea, and it's got it's got that like antioxidant thing going on with it, and my parents' generation called it morning thunder, and it but the Germans figured out you could take it and you could put sugar and carbonation in it, and it's the normal like caffeinated drink gives you that up and then a crash, but a Club Mate, what I like about it is it kind of gives you one of these going up and up and up and up and up, and it never really, it lets you down gently. It's like a good date. It's easy and approachable, and it lets you down gently when it's done. um, you can see I'm a big fan of this drink. What it meant to me was when we got off the plane, my first trip, we drove right to Heiko's house in Friedrichshain, and the kiosk downstairs from Heiko's had all the different flavors in there, and they were all €1. Which there's a couple of different kinds of beer that are cheaper than Club Mate in Berlin, but it's still just like a rock bottom dirt cheap drink that you can just have anywhere. And in the old fashioned, breakable glass bottles, you can hear it kind of, it's got a real thing to it, right? So the other thing I like here is this guy on the label. The mascot, I don't know if he has a name. It's Gunter or something, I'm sure. But you look at him, let me get in there real close with him. He's really sophisticated, he's roguish, and he's enjoying a glass of Club Mate. I've always assumed that this is a man, but actually as I'm looking forward, well, there is a mustache there, but I would suggest that the two earrings mean that maybe this is a woman, or that maybe he's non-gender conforming, which is really cool. Also, there's a unofficial slogan of Club Mate, which is the German for "You'll get used to it." If someone could send that, whatever that is, to me, I'd love to know. And on the back, I really love this. On the back of the bottle, it says, "Carbonated yerba mate soft drink, no artificial additives." And then this is what I love: vegan. I'm not vegan. I'm not vegetarian. I'm glad that people are vegan and make that choice for themselves, but I really like that this bottle announces this. But what I think about when I think about Club Mate is that first visit to Berlin, and it seemed like the coolest city I'd ever been to. It was all the promise of a place like Portland, Oregon, but it hadn't been overtaken, by big tech or whatever happened to Oregon. I don't really know, to Portland. I could talk shit about Portland all night. I'm not gonna lie. So it's a semi-sweet. I'm gonna give it a taste. It's a semi-sweet tea style drink with a little bit of Yep, that's the stuff. It's more heavily carbonated than the other drinks that I've tried in the last few nights. It's got a lot more. It's got a lot more of that effervescence to it. It's not, the bubbles aren't suggestive. They are there. They're not implied. They're actual. And that slogan being "You'll get used to it" is pretty good, because it's like it takes you by surprise. You're like, it's not quite sweet, but it's not quite as dry as you would think a tea drink would be. It's not a sweet tea. It's somewhere in the middle. It's some other thing. This is gonna put a little in the glass here. Get the notes, get some air in it, and see what we come up with. I try not to drink these too much of this when I do these videos, because I do these at night, and I don't want to be up all night because I've drank 16 ounces of energy drink. So we just do a little here, and get it around in the glass there. Look at that. And I had to burp a little bit. It's a little more carbonation than I'm used to. You can really hear the carbonation in the glass when you swirl this, which you would never do. But anyway, here we are a little more. There's almost like a grassiness to it, almost like you can really taste like the leaves, the tea leaves. One of the things about drinking yerba mate, if you're doing it properly, is the leaves are raw, and you don't boil it. You like let the leaves need to stay alive. I don't know. It's what I was told 20 years ago when I started drinking this stuff, but so it really has that grassiness to it that you would expect from like a cup of yerba mate, and none of what I like about the foreign drinks too is none of the artificially flavor. You can really taste that they use real sugar in this, and I dig that too. So Club Mate, while it's not, there's a lot of imposters, and we will get to those eventually too. But while it's not something you could drink every day, it's $5 a bottle here where I live. I've seen it cost $10 a bottle. At the end of the day, it's just a soda. But in my opinion, as far as energy drinks goes, it's really like this is really like the Goodfellas of energy drinks. This is really It might not be your favorite, but you do kind of have to admit that it's good. Like there's no really detracting this. I've never met somebody that was like, no, I don't like that shit. Das ist nicht so gut. I would serve this at Oktoberfest. I would serve this if St. Pauli win the World Cup. I would serve this if you were going to a Tokotronic concert, or if Flula Borg were coming over for dinner. This would be a nice thing to put out for him. So that's it for tonight. Thank you so much for listening. This is Brook Pridemore from Brook Pridemore Industries. If you like this thing, if you like what I'm doing here, check the links below. You can check out my music on Bandcamp and Spotify. And if you want to do something long term, you can become a patron on my Patreon. Thank you.